Hello, this is Julian with Coffee Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing the Fabio Garcia Lactic Washed Ethiopia Sidra Process Colombia from Manhattan Coffee Roasters. And there's the bag right there. And that was quite the mouthful, so if you're curious as to what that means, I'm going to attach a link to Manhattan's Instagram post for this coffee down below so you can kind of read up on it. They describe it way better than I ever could, and there's so much I wanted to discuss about this coffee. So let's start discussing this coffee. And I've had my eye on this one and the Lady Bermuda specifically for quite a while since I've seen their release, and people have been talking about these coffees quite a bit. I was drawn to this coffee, and I'll be completely honest, because they have a pink dragon fruit flavor note listed on their coffee bag. And for research purposes, I went down to Pike Place Market when I was still living in Seattle, purchased a $15 dragon fruit to try it, and I'll be completely honest, maybe I got a bad one, but it was pretty bland and flavorless. The way I would describe that dragon fruit is kind of like a bland and flavorless kiwi, a kiwi without all the fun parts of a kiwi. So that was my impression of the dragon fruit, just kind of for research purposes, but with that story out of the way, let's start discussing this coffee. This right here is day 22. Recipe for this one, I was told to updose, so I did 15:1 water to coffee ratio at 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Manhattan, of course, is a lighter European roast for the roast profile. And with that out of the way, let's start discussing it. Day 8, first day I had it, I was actually talking to somebody as I drank the coffee for the first time, and I said to them, you might be witness to me having one of the best coffees of the entire year. Blown away, very positive first impression. That classic Manhattan sweetness I referenced in the last video where I described it as a generic brown candy, whether it be caramel and butterscotch, it was definitely there. But of course it was pretty lemon forward, and that's going to be a theme. Day 10, pretty complex. I would say that this coffee, unlike the Waji, was a lot more consistent. As it aged, it got better, but the flavors became a little bit more pronounced and prominent, but it was the same flavors, they just became better. Day 12, what now I would describe as maybe pink lemonade forward with that same candy sweetness of caramel and butterscotch. Day 14, again, if you're ever describing a coffee as pink, this coffee is pink. It tastes like a pink lemonade to me. And the lemon was nice, but ultimately, if I could describe it as one little statement, I would describe it as a butterscotch pink lemonade candy. And that's kind of interesting and it's kind of fun. Day 16, again, I noted that it was really consistent. Updosing the coffee definitely gave it more of a rich, deep flavor. I did experiment with this coffee, I will say that. So I tried it at different ratios, I tried it at different temperatures, and I really liked the recipe I came up with for this coffee. So I will say that's pretty sweet, pretty super pink, pretty enjoyable, especially at that 15:1. And then day 20, when I made the tasting one, I will say again, coffee was getting better. It keeps getting better. Even on day 22, I feel like it's getting better. Definitely one of those coffees that aged really well. Candy sweetness ever present and prominent, beautiful yellow citrus lingering through strongly, just terrific. My final impression on that final day I made that tasting wheel, terrific. Really, really enjoyed it. All right, speaking of that tasting wheel, let's go ahead and put up the tasting wheel right now so you can see what it's getting. And just like with the last video where I put the caramel at 4 because of that brown candy, I'm putting it at 4 again because it's just as prominent in this coffee. Citrus fruit at 4, of course, because the lemon, really, really nice. Pretty sweet coffee, pretty nice finish, some florals in there, a bit of saltiness. Yeah, those are kind of the things that stand out on this. I feel like the cleanliness can actually go a little higher because while I think maybe the day I made this tasting wheel it wasn't coming out the cleanest, right now it's a pretty clean cup of coffee. It's pretty crisp, quite enjoyable. Alright, so my thoughts and impressions of this coffee. It won't come as a surprise to anybody that based off the way I've talked about this coffee, it is easily one of my 2 or 3 favorite coffees of the year. Now, the Takizi Geisha from Coffee Collective was my favorite coffee going into drinking this coffee, and there's such different coffees, it's kind of hard to compare them side by side. I feel like this one I enjoy more for being unique, different, and outside the box, and that one I enjoy more for being very much my profile, my type of coffee that I really enjoy. If you made me pick one on this day right now, this is also subject to change, I would actually probably pick this Manhattan. This right here is probably my favorite coffee of the year, just because it's such a standout, unique, different, special coffee with such a weird and fun flavor profile that I think I enjoyed it more than that Geisha, which is completely 100% in line with the types of coffee I enjoy. huge testament to how amazing this coffee was. Type of person I would suggest this coffee to is people that do enjoy their lighter but super sweet and consistent, complex coffees at the same time, because these flavors that are coming from it, these sweet candy flavors, are really, really enjoyable. And you know, I think if you're able to pick them out in the sense that I was, you will enjoy this cup of coffee as much as I did, and it will be a real standout for you. Now, while I never got this pink dragon fruit, I will say that the coffee was pretty much in line with what I expected, and massive props again to Manhattan, who continues to be one of, if not my favorite coffee roasters in the world. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm curious if you've tried this coffee, your thoughts on it as well. If you're enjoying the content, give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And this right here has been a review of the Fabio Garcia Lactic Washed Ethiopia Sidra Processed Colombia from Manhattan Coffee Roasters. Thank you for watching.